These people have a real nice house, boy.
This could pop up the
Way
way
they look
can open up inside.
Wow. You source these parts in Trinidad yet?
No, not one thing. Well, except for the styrofoam base, which is packing material. Or you can buy sheets. But this is packing material and the wood. Everything else is from Amazon.
What material this is for the pool here?
That is
kind of silicone.
epoxy. No, yeah, resin.
Okay,
a
epoxy.
two-part resin. You can get that here. You can get that to buy it.
Static grass.
Yeah, they sell static grass fibers, synthetic grass fibers in packs, right? Different lengths. And you lay them down with a static grass applicator, which is like a sieve with an electric charge, so that when the grass fibers pass through the sieve, they stand up straight.
Okay.
Right, so you put on a base of glue on your form, and you just lay down, shake the grass down, and they line up like that.
Yeah, transfer. KFC. With Sweeten. Nice to savor at the Royal Castle. The Royal Castle, flavor to the bone.
Royal Castle.
Thank you very much. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better.
Royal Castle.
Oh, culture. Oh, flavor.
I did tons of research before I started anything. In the case of this was a separate issue. I spent about 3 to 4 months researching this kind of stuff before I decided to buy a kit. And then when I bought a kit, I sat on the kit for the next month or 2, gathering all sorts of information from YouTubers and people who in this sort of thing, and looking at the problems they have and stuff like that before I started building. Because I don't want to start something and couldn't finish it, right? Because these are expensive. So the kit, the body kit is like $350 US. That is not landed, that is the price on Amazon. You have to pay to ship it. And then the electronics is another kit that is like about $300 US. And then the other things you have to buy to go with it, other parts, because it doesn't come with a lot of electronics. All it comes with is a motor. And the motor can't run because you don't have any remote to run it. So you have to buy your receiver, you have to buy your transmitter, you have to buy servos, and a whole host of stuff like that.
So you could start this up if you wanted it right now?
Yeah, let me get the thing. There's a transmitter, the receiver is inside here.
Rattan! Let me see what Rattan sells today. White Gill shop, oh sorry, Benny shopping on Rattan. I like Rattan.
Right, so this is the build for the truck. Right, so you just follow the steps. And then they would make it easy for you by sizing the parts to the exact size, right? The drawings are the exact size of the parts that is in this column here.
Anna, you're sitting real quiet, girl.
I think she's enjoying it.
Why we could see Rosa when I come up here? Why we could
because mountain like it's so high up, baby. It's so high up that you can see it from the plains.
So now you have to make it.
That's one thing I don't like about the Navarra. Eh?
No luck?
No luck.
Well, it's same for Redmond, kind of luck.
You stay there and feel so. Oh boy, that's a nice shot.
Look at the one with the flower.
Really like to come up here.
Oh, I always love to see those trees up there.
So like these houses here are scratch built. Right? Scratch built meaning they start off with a plan. Right? And what are these plans for some houses that are found on the net. Not too complicated, but yet not too simple.
Right.
So it requires a little bit of art and a little bit of effort and time. This road surface is 1/16 of an inch thick. It should have made it 1/8 of an inch thick because it's easy to, if you push on it hard, it's going to crack because the substrate is styrofoam, which is soft, right? So depending on the base, you could make it 1/16 if the base is a little more firm, but this base being styrofoam is a little soft for this material. They sell everything, you know. They sell a type of string called Easy Line that is used for this kind of work, right? When you stick it with using Evo stick, not Evo stick, CA glue, which is like crazy glue. When you stick it with that, it remains stuck forever. Because I have this a year and something, and it's kind of elastic, so you could hit it and it won't burst or nothing. But that is painstaking work to do, to build the poles, to string the wires them on the pole, and for the most part I did it on the bench outside and not on this side. This is in two parts basically, right? So I did one half on the bench and then I did a second half on the bench outside and then put them down together. Actually, most of this stuff is drop through, so all the wiring would have been done there.
Okay.
But you're dropping the wires then from this through and connecting. If you look underneath, you're going to see the little pin connectors, tiny connectors that only the Chinese people could make. Right? But I'm from China. Because you don't get these, so you'll see bigger ones for the houses, right? That was my first idea. But then it was going to get too difficult to do because for the houses to drop the wires through, you know, this is the size of hole that I have to cut, right?
Okay.
So that won't work for the light poles and all that.
Right.
So I needed smaller connectors to be able to drop it through. Right, so I use these small Chinese connectors, probably about 2 or 3 millimeters in width. And each one of these things could come out, like you could come out and you could replace it. You pull it out and you replace it. Replace the wires or replace the light and fixtures. So yes, what I've seen boxes here for the light controls. There's boxes for these controls. Actually, these are a little more complicated than that because there are literally 3 boxes. One with the reed switch setup, a relay to keep the reed switch going for a certain number of seconds, 30 seconds, and then a sound generator board and a speaker. When you hear any ding, 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 all that is just for this.
I don't realize you have a cell tower here too.
Yeah. That was Susan's idea. And there's a clock here on the railroad station.
That's the part I can't get over, you know. That this is all plain white and you have the ability to customize every aspect of it.
So these will be styrene rungs, they have styrene tubes, they have styrene rods, there's more rods, principally more rods, yeah. And there's square styrene, these are round, right? So there's square, there's flat, there's angle. And you use them for different purposes. This is angled styrene. The top of the roof would be angled. Also the guttering would be angled, but a different size of angled styrene. The base would be flat styrene. You see the bases. Red. It will be flat, different thicknesses. These poles, you see square styrene here on the pole, and there's round here. These poles are made of styrene too, some of these poles.
Back out.
But we don't have any food, so we actually have to leave here.
Yes, we do have food. Mommy has spaghetti.
Oh! Something bite me.
Are you okay, Daddy?
Yeah. Remember where Daddy showed you to hold on to climb up? Anna, spoil the lime.
Mommy, Daddy said.
Remember when going out used to be fun?
I remember.
Daddy, look fancy hand.
Yeah, boy.
Daddy, we do have food.
Going out used to be real fun and spontaneous. If you think coronavirus keeping you home,
It's children.
it's really cheering keeping you home.
These are some of the tools they use, right? Also have that nut here is a square, an adjustable square that you could use to correct the angles in your houses, right? And so this is like a mitre gauge, electronic mitre gauge. You get precise measurements with this one. Utility knife. This is a cutting board for styrene. Use this lighter to, when you bend styrene, sometimes they tend to straighten back over time. So you soften the styrene rods with this and then they stay bent. Right? You have tweezers. You have this hole cutter to nip holes in styrene. You also use this to cut around holes in styrene. You use a lot of files to file. You have this, what do you call this device?
I have no idea.
A square, right?
A square?
Yeah, this is a square. Yeah, but you could get precise angle on it, right? So it will tell you when you're at 90, 90.7, 90.6. Right?
Fantastic, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea something like that existed.
Yeah. And this one is similar to that, right? But this is like, this is 0 here with these 2 points. You measure by doing this.
Okay, so
you get the exact measurement to the 7.61 millimeters. You can measure on the inside too of stuff.
So working with your scale of this 1 to 87 for measurements. Let's say you look at a piece of wall and you know, hey, this is my columns are 10 feet high. You could show me what your measurement for that would look like?
Off the bat, I'll tell you 10 feet is 1 inch.
10 feet.
Approximately 1 inch, right? That's 1 to 87. 10 feet is approximately 1 inch.
Okay.
Right? So I do most of my work in feet and inches, right?
That's fine.
Right? So 10 feet is going to be 1 inch, right? So approximately. Right? So a 4-inch house there is 40 feet
Okay.
a house, right? Basically.
Okay.
And well, of course, you use these pliers. Lots of other stuff, small stuff here.
And you use a very fine paintbrush for your painting.
Right, or I use airbrush. So most of the painting is airbrush. Right, the fine details I'll use paintbrush, but most of it is airbrush, masking tape, and that kind of thing. Let me see if I can find masking tape here. So it's this kind of masking tape I'll use on my houses, right? Tamiya masking tape. This is less tacky than the regular masking tape. The regular masking tape when they destroy your house, those tiny houses, right? So you need something more suitable. And then this is compatible with a lot of these paints, right? So that it doesn't pull the paint or it doesn't leave residue on the paint. Those things, the blue tape, they leave residue on these kinds of things. So apart from the airbrush, if I have to use, I'll use a little spray paint now and then, right? On the houses, I'll use the bomb spray, regular bomb spray, but mainly for priming purposes, right? Because most of my painting will be the airbrush. This one is clapboard, which is the siding that the Americans use a lot in building houses. Right? Same thing, different sizes. So here is a scale conversion chart, and it'll tell you exactly right, the equivalent in inches, right, of in different scales. Right? So you see, this is from model railroading, architectural models, you know, that kind of stuff. Oh, the AC units, them?
Yeah.
Look at them here. Look how simple. Look how simple. So you put this on a styrene backing, and you have your unit. Simple, simple, simple. And a lot of stuff would be done like that, right?
You know, I didn't pick up that it was a print on the AC units when I watched it.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up that it was a print. I thought it was actual detail you worked in.
The fridge in the house, you didn't see a fridge in the house, but there's a fridge in the house upstairs. And that is the same thing. There's a picture of a fridge against styrene, right? This is the glue that you use for the base to sprinkle your grass on.
Okay.
This one, mud punch. When I'm building the wire trays, them cover it with latex rubber to take all the visible signs of the wire itself, right? Because the strands of wire you're using, right? So you want to hide that, so cover it with this, right? The road is this material here, smooth it. You see my road system? Right, some of the foliage would be this stuff here, right? On the layout, some of the foliage would be trees, would be I have a material that I like to use a lot, right? And I use it for I use it as mulch, as this, right?
That's your mulch.
You know what that is, right?
No.
Those leaves from the mango tree, dried, put it in a blender. And they look real good on you there, right? So I was telling you about the trees them. So when you have your wire form for the branches, right? You're dusting it with this, right? You're dusting it with this material. Right, with this. So when you get good looking trees with this, right? But to get it to stick on the branches, you spray it with this.
Right.
Right? Spray glue. But I also use spray glue to hold small pieces like my windows and all that. If I go to airbrush them, they're going to blow away, right? So to get them to hold, I put them on a sheet of paper, spray some of this, stick them onto it and spray it. Right? Some of the trees then. Yeah, basically that's it. And like this is a piece of foam that I use for hedges. The first thing is to think what you could use as a material, as stuff to do it then. Right? So for the light pole, the lights them, anything that I'm going to do on the layout, anything I could think about that I want to model, first thing I know what material I'm going to use to do it and how I'm going to do it. Once I establish that process, I test it out, and if it's working, I do it. A lot of ideas get off the net because people do stuff, but then I get to realize that a lot of these people who put videos on the net, they can't really do things, they don't do things properly, you know. And I don't know if they don't have the passion and they just have the passion to be on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah, versus wanting to do this stuff. There's a guy who I follow called Luke Towan, right? He's the go-to man for all this stuff. He's the king of them.
So you ever thought about becoming the go-to man in Trinidad?
No, not that. Not really. I just get a tremendous pleasure out of doing this stuff.
They don't have any head, they're called mannequins. When done by the artist, man. This is such a good name for the sign, huh? The amount of bars on the stretch. Bar number 1. Let's count them.
Count the rum shops in Trinidad.
Count the rum shops. I don't think there's enough
that makes
numbers.
sense. It makes sense counting rum shop in Trinidad.
It's like counting the grain of sand in the sea.